Welcome to online lecture series on Fourier transforms. This is lecture number 14. In this lecture, we'll solve some problems on Fourier transforms. First problem is find the Fourier transform of the function f of x is equals to 1 by square root of modulus of x. So we consider the function f of x is equal to 1 by square root of modulus of x and we try to find its Fourier transform. By the definition of Fourier transform, we know that f of x is integral minus infinity to infinity f of x into e power isx dx. So now Fourier transform of 1 by square root of mod x is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity 1 by square root of mod x into e power isx dx. Because in this integral we have mod x, we split the integral as minus infinity to 0 and 0 to infinity because mod x is defined as minus x for x less than or equal to 0 and x for x greater than 0. Now in the interval minus infinity to infinity mod x is equal to minus x and in the interval 0 to infinity mod x is equal to plus x. Now in the first integral, that is the integral here, we have here integral of 1 by square root of minus x. In the first integral, that is in this integral, we put minus x is equal to t. So by substituting minus x is equal to t in the first integral, we get dx is equal to minus dt. And how the limits change when x is equal to 0, t is 0. And when x is equal to minus infinity, t becomes infinity. Therefore, changing the limits and substituting the value of minus x, we get integral infinity to 0, 1 by square root of t into e power minus st into minus dt. Now this minus times integral infinity to 0 becomes 0 to infinity. The limits change. The upper limit becomes lower limit and the lower limit becomes upper limit when multiplied with minus 1. So now the first integral has become integral 0 to infinity 1 by square root of t into e power minus ist dt plus second integral is integral 0 to infinity 1 by square root of x into e power isx dx. Now both the integrals have the limits from 0 to infinity. Therefore we can combine these two integrals and we can write it as integral 0 to infinity 1 by root x into e power isx plus e power minus isx, because 1 by root x is common in both the integral and the numerators are e power isx and e power minus isx. And we know that e power I theta plus e power minus I theta is 2 cos theta. Therefore, this e power isx plus e power minus isx becomes 2 cos sx. So now this integral is integral 0 to infinity 2 into cos sx by square root of x dx. Now because it is difficult to evaluate this integral directly, we'll write this integral as 2 into real part of integral 0 to infinity e power minus isx into square root of dx, square root of x dx, because we know that e power minus I theta is equals to cos theta minus I sin theta. Therefore, real part in e power minus I theta is cos theta. Therefore, this cos sx can be written as real part of e power minus isx. Now let us substitute isx is equal to t in this integral. Then differentiating both sides we get dx is equal to dt by is. So if we substitute these values in the above integral, we get 2 times real part of integral 0 to infinity e power minus t, because isx is t, divided by x is t by is. Therefore we have square root of x there. We have square root of x here. So in place of square root of x, we write square root of t by is. And in place of dx, we write dt by is. So we had here dt by is in place of dx. Now after simplification, we get square root of is by is here. So this becomes 1 by square root of is into integral 0 to infinity e power minus t by root t dt. That is 2 times real part of 1 by square root of is into integral 0 to infinity e power minus t. 1 by root t is can be written as t power minus 1 by 2. Therefore, we got integral 0 to infinity e power minus t into t power minus 1 by 2 here. That is equal to 2 times real part of 1 by square root of is into integral 0 to infinity e power minus t into t power minus 1 by 2 is written as 1 by 2 t power 1 by 2 minus 1, because 1 by 2 minus 1 is equals to minus 1 by 2. Now this integral 0 to infinity e power minus t into t power 1 by 2 minus 1 becomes gamma of 1 by 2. This gamma function is defined like this. Gamma of n is defined as integral 0 to infinity e power minus x into x power n minus 1 dx. So in this integral, in place of n, we have 1 by 2. So in place of n, we have 1 by 2. So this we can write it as, this integral can be written as gamma of 1 by 2. And the value of gamma of 1 by 2 can be obtained as root pi using this definition. So we consider that value gamma of 1 by 2 as root pi, and we substitute here gamma of 1 by 2 as root pi. Then Fourier transform of 1 by square root of mod x becomes 2 times real part of 1 by square root of is into gamma of 1 by 2 is root pi. Now that is equal to 2 into real part of 1 by root s into 1 by root I. 1 by root I is I power minus 1 by 2. And this I power minus 1 by 2 can be written as I. I can be written as cos pi by 2 plus I sin pi by 2, because cos pi by 2 is 0 and sin pi by 2 is 1. Therefore, this is 0 and this is 1. Therefore, I can be written as cos pi by 2 plus I sin pi by 2 whole power minus 1 by 2. Now using De Moivre's theorem, which states that cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n is cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Therefore, cos n pi by 2 plus I sin n pi by 2 whole power minus 1 by 2 can be written as cos minus 1 by 2 into pi by 4, that is cos of minus pi by 4, which is equal to cos pi by 4 minus plus I into sin of minus 1 by 2 into pi by 2, that is sin of minus pi by 4, which is equals to minus I into sin pi by 4. So what we obtain here? 2 times real part of 1 by square root of s into cos pi by 4 minus I sin pi by 4 into square root of pi. Now what is real part in this whole term? The real part is 2 times 1 by square root of s into cos pi by 4 into square root of pi. Therefore, f of Fourier transform of 1 by square root of mod x is given by 2 times 1 by square root of s into cos pi by 4 into root pi, and we know that cos pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. So upon simplification, we get it as square root of 2 pi by s. Therefore, Fourier transform of 1 by square root of mod x is square root of 2 pi by s. Problem number 2 is find a Fourier sine and cosine transform of the function f of x is equal to x power n minus 1. So we consider Fourier sine transform, which is given by fs of f of x is integral 0 to infinity f of x into sin sx, and now in place of sin sx f of x we substitute x power n minus 1. Therefore, fs of x power n minus 1 is integral 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 into sin sx dx. Let us call this equation as 1. Now consider Fourier cosine transform also. Fourier cosine transform is defined as integral 0 to infinity f of x into cos sx dx. Now in place of f of x, substitute x power n minus 1 and call that equation as equation number 2. So now we have two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. Now we combine these two equations like this. Equation 2 minus I times equation 1 gives fc of x power n minus 1 minus I times fs of x power n minus 1 is equal to fc of x power n minus 1 is integral 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 into cos x, and fs of x power n minus 1 is integral 0 to infinity x power n minus 1 into sin sx dx. Now combining these two integrals as a single integral, this is equal to integral 0 to infinity cos sx minus I sin sx into x power n minus 1 dx. We know that cos theta minus I sin theta is e power minus I theta. Therefore, this is e power minus isx into x power n minus 1 dx. Now in this integral we put isx is equal to t, so that dx is equal to dt by is, and the limits remain same because when x is 0, t becomes 0, and when x goes to infinity, t also goes to infinity. Therefore, now fc of x power n minus 1 minus I times fs of x power n minus 1 becomes integral 0 to infinity e power minus t into x is t by is, therefore this is t by is whole power n minus 1 into dx is dt by is, so this is dt by is. Now upon simplification we get this as 1 by I power n, because we have I power n minus 1 into I power n into s power n minus 1 into s gives s power n, integral 0 to infinity e power minus t into t power n minus 1 dt. Now multiply and divide the numerator with I power n, so that in the numerator we have I power n and in the denominator we have I power 2n, and the integral 0 to infinity e power minus t into t power n minus 1 in the last term is gamma of n. This term is equals to gamma of n. As we discussed earlier, this is definition of the gamma function. So in place of that integral, we will substitute gamma of n. Now that is I power n into I power 2n is I square whole power n into s power n into gamma of n, and I in the numerator can be written as cos pi by 2 plus I sin pi by 2 whole power n by I square power n into s power n into gamma of n. Again applying De Moivre's theorem, cos pi by 2 plus I sin pi by 2 whole power n becomes cos n pi by 2 plus I sin n pi by 2 by I square is minus 1, so minus 1 whole power n into s power n into gamma of n. Now separating the real part and imaginary part, we get real part as cos n pi by 2 into gamma of n by minus 1 whole power n into s power n plus I times imaginary part is sin n pi by 2 into gamma of n by minus 1 whole power n into s power n. Now compare the real parts on both sides and also the imaginary parts on both sides. Then we obtain the value of fc of x power n minus 1 and fs of x power n minus 1. So comparing real and imaginary parts both sides, we get fc of x power n minus 1 is minus 1 whole power n times cos n pi by 2 into gamma of n by s power n, and similarly fs of x power n minus 1 is minus 1 whole power n plus 1 into gamma of n by s power n into sin n pi by 2. Now the next problem is evaluate Fourier sine and cosine transform of f of x, which is equal to 1 by square root of x. In the earlier problem, we evaluated Fourier sine and cosine transform of x power n minus 1. Now if we put n is equals to 1 by 2 there, x power n minus 1 becomes 1 by root over x. So in the above problem, we put n is equal to 1 by 2. Then by these two equations, we get fc of 1 by root x is equal to, take n is equal to 1 by 2 everywhere, minus 1 whole power 1 by 2 gamma of 1 by 2 s power 1 and 1 by 2 into cos of n is 1 by 2, therefore cos pi by 4, and minus 1 whole power 1 by 2 is I, gamma of 1 by 2 is root pi, cos pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. So substituting all the values, we get it as I times square root of pi by 2s. Similarly, Fourier sine transform of 1 by root x is taking n is equal to 1 by 2 here. We get minus 1 whole power 3 by 2 into gamma of 1 by 2 by s power 1 by 2 into sine pi by 4, which gives minus I times square root of pi by 2s. Thank you for watching this lecture.